Hare Krishna. Wasn't Karna's faithfulness to Duryodhana glorious even when Krishna offered him the offered him the kingdom of the Pandavas for coming out of the side of the Pandavas? Karna refused because he was faithful to Duryodhana. Isn't this an example of glorious faithful friendship? Answer: sadly, no. No, Karna certainly had a sense of honor and faithfulness, but unfortunately it was misdirected. Now, Karna, he got attached to Duryodhana, and that Duryodhana was a vicious person. So, Karna had a mistaken sense of loyalty, and that mistaken sense of loyalty caused his and the Kauravas' destruction. And indeed, it caused a war that was destructive for the whole world, practically speaking. So, let's look at this incident carefully and understand what is happening. So, yes, when Karna was in need, at that time Duryodhana befriended him, and Duryodhana offered him the kingdom of Anga, offered him royal honor, and that was definitely something which Karna should have been grateful for. And Karna was indeed grateful for him. So, to be grateful for what we have got is definitely good, it's virtuous. At the same time, being grateful to someone does not mean blindly following that person, doing whatever they want to do, and putting us and not considering one's own conscience or one's own values. So, to give a provocative example, suppose in say there is a young boy in Pakistan who is hungry, poverty stricken, and practically on the verge of death. And if some terrorist group at that time offers him food, clothing, shelter, offers him prestige and power, now when he is such a small child, he may not know what this terrorist group is into. But as he grows up and as his intelligence and conscience awakens, and he realizes that these terrorists are actually brutalizing innocents, they are killing, they're brutally killing so many innocent people. At that time, what should he do? Should he at that time, in the name of gratitude, stay on with this group of terrorists and become a part of their atrocious plans to kill innocent people, or should he part ways with them? At that time, honor requires parting ways. There is a life of honor and there is a word of honor. He may have said at that time, oh, when he had been a child and when he had been a young child and he had been provided his needs by the terrorists, he may have said, oh, I give you my word, I will be your friend throughout. I will always be there for you. But later on, when he understands that they are themselves living a dishonorable life, uh, unconscionable life, in fact, then he cannot continue with them. So Karna's situation was similar. Initially, he may not have known how atrocious Duryodhana and the Kauravas were. But later on, he did realize it when Duryodhana came up with a scheme to try to have the Pandavas burned alive. When Duryodhana came up with a scheme along with Shakuni to steal away through gambling everything that the Pandavas had acquired. Now, all these were demoniac things to do, and yet Karna did that. Karna went along with that, but not only went along with that, actually Karna, he instigated them further. He's a classic but tragic example of how a good person becomes bad because of bad association. Because he was attached to Duryodhana, who was vicious in character, Karna also acted in vicious ways. So it was Karna who, in the gambling assembly, after the gambling match in the Kuru assembly, he suggested that Draupadi be disrobed, and he wanted to do this simply because he wanted to humiliate the Pandavas, and because that's what Duryodhana wanted. So basically, he acted in a very perverse way, and this happened because he was attached to Duryodhana. And later on he regretted his actions, saying that in the name of pleasing Duryodhana he had done terrible things. He admitted that. But by that time it was too late, he had already done those things. And moving further, if we look at the overall incident, when Krishna came as Shanti Doot to the Kuru assembly, he offered Duryodhana peace in the most accommodating of terms. He said, just give the Pandavas 5 villages. And Duryodhana insolently refused that, saying that I will not even give enough land to stick the tip of a needle through. And then Krishna said, then war is inevitable. Now, when bloodshed was inevitable, Krishna decided to do all he could to minimize the bloodshed. And thus, the next morning before departing, he asked to meet Karna. And at that time, Krishna made the offer to Karna that you come over to Pandava's side and you will become the leader of the Pandavas. You are actually the eldest of the Pandavas, being Kunti's first son. So Karna already knew this, but Karna refused, saying that Duryodhana has helped me and I have promised to be by his side. It is only by his confidence in my power that he has challenged the Pandavas. So now here Karna knew the consequence of his of his of his siding with the Kauravas. If Karna had not been there on the Kauravas side, Duryodhana may well not have been so insolent, and the whole war might well have been avoided. So Karna had made a error of judgment when he had suggested that Draupadi be disrobed, but now he was persisting in that error. So to err is human, but to persist in error is not human. It is demoniac. It is unfortunate. And to consider such persistence in error as loyalty is actually stupidity. So when Krishna offered Karna the opportunity to come over to the Pandavas, he was offering him not defection, an opportunity for not defection, but for redemption. Defection means to go over to the enemy side. Redemption means to come back on the right side once again. So, if Karna had not got entangled with the vicious Duryodhana, Karna would probably have led a life of virtue. And Krishna was offering Karna an opportunity to come on the side of virtue now. So it was Krishna's magnanimity and it was Karna's opportunity. So Karna had to choose here between the word of honor and the life of honor. Word of honor means he had promised Duryodhana that I'll be your friend always. That was his word of honor. But in the name of that word of honor, he had to live a life of dishonor. He had to act viciously. He had to fight on the side of vice. But instead, Krishna had offered him the life of honor. To live a life of virtue, to be on the side of those who are virtuous. And unfortunately, when Karna rejected that, he sealed his own fate. So it was not loyalty, but misdirected loyalty. Yes, he was a great faithful friend of Duryodhana, but actually his friendship was an attachment, and that attachment made him into a puppet in Duryodhana's hand, and Duryodhana manipulated Karna by having him by making him also vicious like him, by making him a part in his vicious schemes. So Karna, unfortunately, by choosing a word of honor over the life of honor, his misdirected loyalty caused his own destruction, and that was his so he is an example of a good association, good person becoming bad by bad association. It is not an example of faithful friendship, but is an example of the degeneration of character by attachment to bad association. Thank you.